What's up, Dominators? Welcome back to the V-EB06 channel, and today I present to you my Kagero deck recipe. So yes, this is a new deck recipe that I'm trying out because I've heard a lot of people saying that most viewers will skip to the end of my videos in order to see the full deck and don't want me to explain what the deck does and slowly one by one for each card. So I'm just gonna try this out. Hopefully you guys like it. Leave your comments in the comment section below on about this new format for my deck recipe videos. So obviously, as you can see, that this is almost full foil deck. Only card that's not foil is this, and it's actually not my deck, but it's actually Wilson's deck. But the force markers are mine though. So yes, this is a force deck if you haven't noticed, so you will need force markers. And since this is a full on shiny deck, you will need shiny force markers to complement it as well. Alright, so this is the deck basically, and I'm gonna get into the deck right now. Sorry for my voice because I'm having a bad sore throat these few days, so my voice sounds a little bit weird on video, I know, but hopefully it compensates for me explaining the whole deck to you guys. So first we got the starter. I've totally forgot the name already, but basically every deck has to run a starter, not this starter specifically, but yes, you can run this starter because it lets you to draw one if you're playing so-called normally. So on right, draw one, I don't think I have to explain that. Following, we have the new VR Dragonic Overlord, the Ordinary. So just kidding, it's actually called Dragonic Overlord, the Great. So it's basically the old Legion made with Dragonic Neoflame right here. The skill is, on place, you may call a Dragonic Neoflame from your graveyard, from your drop zone back to your rearguard circle. And then the second skill would be once per turn at the end that it attacked a vanguard, or just attacked at the end of battle that you attacked, you may count as one if you're Great 3 in Soul. Discard 2 cards, stand a Dragonic Neoflame on your rearguard circle, and stand the Great. At the same time, this unit gains the -1 drive, so it's only 1 drive after twin driving. So it's basically gets you the extra pressure. I wouldn't say this card is good yet bad, so I call it Dragonic Overlord, the Ordinary in a sense. It grants you the extra attack, and it's the first force clan that has extra attack on a force marker if you actually force a Dragonic Neoflame. So yes, it's not that good, yet not that great. I mean, wait, it's not that good, yet not that bad. So yeah, I got confused there for a second. But yes, it's basically multi-attack force clan. I didn't want to run 4 of it because it complements the deck, these two. Moving on, we got Dragonic Overlord, the Vanguard, the original one from the trial deck. Basically not on place, but once per turn, you may soul blast 1 this unit against 10k. At the end of a battle that attacks hits once per turn, you may counter blast 1, discard 2 cards, stand this unit, it gains -1 drive. So it's almost the same thing as Dragonic Overlord, the Ordinary, but instead of standing himself and the Neoflame, it only stands the Vanguard. Ideally, your first ride would want to be him, and then you want to ride into the Great as your second ride so they can get the combos off. Moving on, we got the last card right here, the last Great 3 card, sorry, not the last card. Dragonic Waterfall, your good finisher, I mean best finisher in Kagero basically. On place, you may retire one of your opponent's Grade 2 or greater rearguards, and then the second skill would be when he attacks, you may soul blast 1 Grade 3 and Grade 3. And these against 10k on crit, and then your opponent are unable to guard it with Sentinels. So it's really good against Protect Clans, and ideally you want to run 2, but Wilson's a poor faggot, even though he can afford this deck. So he runs this instead, so ideally you can swap out this card for another Dragonic Waterfall, which I think is much more consistent, but this deck works fine as well. Moving on to the Grade 2s, we have Berserk Dragon, the best Grade 2, right? Counter Soul Blast on place, counter Soul Blast Vanguard Rearguard, choose one opponent's rearguards and retire it. At the same time, if this unit is on the rearguard circle, you may draw a card. And then if your opponent has no rearguards in the front row, or is it no rearguards? I'm forgetting the skill, but yes, it gains 3k when it attacks, so it's pretty good. At the same time, you net the draw card if it's on the rearguard circle, so ideally you want to run 4 and not less. Moving on to the new Grade 2 that we have in EB06, I totally forget his name as well, but I remember the skill. Basically, the first skill is basically the same thing as Berserk Dragon, plus 3k. And then the second skill, on play Soul Blast 2, you may retire one of your opponent's rearguards, check the top 7 cards of the deck from the top of the deck, and then choose one Dragonic Overlord in the name, so you can choose either the Great, or the Ordinary, the Ordinary or the Vanguard, and add it back to your hand, so you can't choose Dragonic Waterfall. Really good grade 2 ride as well. But ideally you want to ride Berserk Dragon for the draw. You can call him down just to retire the opponent's rear guard, but at the same time it helps you filter out cards for your Dragonic Overlord, the Ordinary or the Vanguard. Moving on to the grade 2s, we got Neo Flame. So Neo Flame is basically complementing the grade right here. It's pretty much restanding rear guard in a sense. But it's a skill as well, which on a it is units on the field, sorry, my throat is pretty fucked up. It is units on the field, your Dragonic Overlord, the Ordinary, gains 5k when attacking. And then when this unit attacks, when the grade attacks, you may pay the cost of count plus 2. The grade gains 1 crit until the end of the battle. So it applies the crit pressure, yes, but for hefty cost of count plus 2, it's pretty unheard of in a sense. But with this deck getting a lot of crit presence with Gaia's and counter charging power from Airmo, I would say to say that this skill is not great yet not bad. So yeah, it's basically ordinary skill, but it's a good grade 2 because you can rush during a grade 2 turns, and then at the same time when it's retired you don't have to worry about it because on plays Dragonic Overlord, the Ordinary or the grade would call the Neo Flame back from the drop zone back to rearguard circle, so we can rush. Moving on to the new grade 1s, if I'm not wrong, is Dragonic Newart. I don't know how to pronounce, but basically the first skill is really good if you're going second. Vanguard skill, when attack hits and it's on the Vanguard circle, you may draw a card. Only hits the Vanguard. So the second skill is basically the same thing as Ermo. When your opponent's Vanguard is retired, you may retire this unit and draw a card, so it helps you filter out for the cards in the deck. Moving on to 4 Ermos. So 4 Ermos, I don't think I have to explain why you should play 4. You don't want to run less than 4. Skill of Rearguard Circle, when it's boosting, it gains 3k, so it's free 11k booster, wow. And then you play it for the second skill, in which when your opponent Rearguard is retired, you may retire this unit, you count charge 1 and you draw 1. You draw 1 first, then you count charge 1. So it's basically the count charger of this deck, and it's 11k booster, so why not? You can call your grade 1 behind New Watt, you whack, obviously your opponent with no guard, so you draw 1 off New Watt. At the same time, next turn when you can ride into Berserk, you burn one of your opponent's rear guards, and then you can activate the effect of Ermo to count charge 1 off Berserk and draw 1 card, so it's really good. Last but not least, we got Dragonic Gaia's. Actually we still have this card, but basically this card can be sorted for waterfall, but I'll get to the skill of this card later. Dragonic Gaia's helps to apply the crit pressure on Dragonic Overlord the Vanguard or Dragonic Overlord the Ordinary. Skill is when it boosts, you may call plus 1, put this unit into your soul, so it's the only soul charger, because this deck takes up a lot of souls. So Dragonic Overlord, the Vanguard takes soul, Berserk Dragon takes soul, this card especially takes soul because it's soul plus 2. So it's a really good soul charging engine for this card. Basically count plus 1, when it boosts, the unit that's being boosted gains the crit until the end of the battle. So take note, it's under the end of battle, not end of turn. But it helps to apply that pressure, especially when you're on Dragonic Overlord, the Vanguard. You can call this behind, Soul Blast. If you have Force, it's a 33k. Use Dragonic Gaia's to boost, count plus 1, put this into your soul, your Dragonic Overlord has a crit. It really applies that pressure. At the same time, it's able to restand, but when you restand, the crit is obviously gone. But if you check crit trigger, then goodbye, good luck to your opponent. Not goodbye, but yes. Last but not least, I'm not too sure of this card. Basically, it's a common card, but I've seen people run it. Count plus 1 X skill, so you do it during your main phase, count plus 1, you retire this unit, you choose 3 of your opponent's rear guards, and then the opponent retires the rest of the rear guards on the field. So it's really good against XL clans where they have a lot of rear guards on field, let's just say Nova Grapplers or things that can flood field in a sense, like Bermuda Triangle. So you choose 3 of your opponent's rear guards and the opponent retires the rest of the rear guards on the field. So a really good nuker, I would say. It's like a Tommy Bomb and nuker to nuke the almost the entire field of your opponent. So as I said before, this card can be switched out for Dragonic Waterfall right here, because you will run at least 2 Dragonic Waterfalls for the consistency when you go against Protect clans. They have a lot of Kanzens or Sentinels or Protects. These 2 cards are not really effective, so you can rely on Dragonic Waterfall to be your finisher. Moving on to the trigger lineup, as you can see right here, we run 4 draws, 8 crits and 4 heals. I've seen a lot of people running 6 draws, 6 crits. Yes, You can if you want, but this is Wilson's preferred trigger lineup where he likes to go much more aggressive, playing the 8 crits to not lose out on the shield value. At the same time, he prefer the crits because more aggressive plays, if you just check 1 crit on either of your overlords right here, it actually applies a lot of pressure, especially when you're under the grid and you have a good chain soul. So if your opponent PGs or Perfect Guards, Sentinels, the grid on the first attack, you judge at 1 crit, you can actually pump the crit to the grid and then power to Neoflame. And then when you restands, the grid restands, you get the additional 1 drive because you're -1 from the restand. If you judge another crit, you can pump all the Neoflame, so they have to guard both if they are on 4 damage because they can't take any damage at all because both of them have a crit. At the same time, if you really don't want to rely on trigger checks, you may use Dragonic Gaia's or Neoflame skill to actually have that crit online. So this deck is already pressurizing enough. I missed an end here. Wow. Okay, so sorry for that. But yes, this deck is pretty much consistent. I'm very excited to see what Dote's skill is. At the same time, what Bushido is going to implement into the deck. So once Dote comes out, it's either the grid is going to be cut down or Dragonic Overlord, the Vanguard is going to be cut down as well. And yeah, that's about it for now. Thank you very much for watching, Dominators. I'll post more videos on the deck fights. So yes, this deck versus Nova Grapples, the Annie's back out. So other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave your comments in the comment section below about this new deck recipe outline in a sense. So yeah, this is ShiHai and I'm out. Peace.